Hey, what's happening, guys? It's Connor here with Fast Money Labs on Twitter. Happy Monday night. We're here to break down another Monday night game. Here with my boy Nick the Picker, joining from Virginia. How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing good. Excited to do some more content with you, and excited for a doubleheader on Monday Night Football. It should be fun. One game looks a little bit better than the other, but let's get right into it.
Yeah, so we're just as a reminder, we're coming in. We're 1-0, so undefeated on this show. We're looking to go 4-0 because we got 3 picks for you guys. So we're gonna dive in right to it. We're going with the first game of the night chronologically. This game, if you looked at the schedule 3 weeks ago, might be more enticing. Right now, it's looking a little different because of that injury report, which we'll break down. So Tyler Huntley is starting at quarterback for the Dolphins. This dude just joined the Dolphins less than 2 weeks ago. He came from the practice squad of the Ravens. And does he know the playbook? We'll find out. Both teams, it's a get right spot. Neither team has covered the spread. Neither team's covered their team total. So if you're an under better, this has under all over it. But with that said, we know that those lines adjust, right, Nick? So the silver lining for the Dolphins here, which is highlighted on the bottom, is that Jeffrey Simmons is out. He's one of the top interior defenders in the league. And that's going to reduce some pressure on Huntley in the form of less pass rush. And even if there were a pass rush, he is a dual threat quarterback. So be interesting to see how that offense flows tonight with a short time to learn the playbook and considering the matchup. So any thoughts on this game, Nick, before I dive into my pick?
Yeah, like you said, I think that with Huntley being there, he's a lot better option than Skylar Thompson, in my opinion. I just like him as a quarterback. I always like a good dual threat quarterback. Gonna have to rely on the run game to try to take the pressure off him, or just get the ball and supplement the run game with short passing to Tyreek Hill and Waddle, and just take advantage of the weapons you have to move the ball down the field. I know that kind of gets you excited because of your picks. So why don't you go over that?
Yeah. So, we're sponsored by the Crowds Line, and I'm using their tool. They're forecasting every stat. And my first lean, Nick, was the Huntley rushing, because he is this dual threat. And if you look back at his stat games when he started, he's flown over this number. But that was back when he was with the Ravens. He was in the Ravens offense, which was designed around Lamar Jackson. So, the Dolphins, while it's possible they'll lean on that run, I'm rolling. Here's my play. I'm rolling over 25.5 pass attempts for Huntley. This is widely available. It was closer to plus 100 earlier, so it's drifting up, which is always a good sign. I wagered at FanDuel, and if you just look back, Nick, Mike McDaniel's offenses since he took over at the Dolphins, 36 out of 39 games, including the playoffs, they've had more than this in pass attempts. So it doesn't matter who's starting. When it was Skylar Thompson, even, they were going over this. So even last week with Tim Boyle, they've been playing from behind, so that explains some of it. But I like this number. It's a low line that reflects the dual threat, and I think that the market might be over pricing that rushing and underpricing the passing, and that's consistent with the Crowds Line forecast. So rolling with Huntley, and I know you got a related play that I'm also intrigued by. So you want to break that one down?
Yeah. So like you said, he's gonna have to move the ball somehow. I don't mind the rushing. I think it was a little bit better when it was 24.5 earlier in the week. But get the ball in your playmakers' hands. Get the ball to Tyreek Hill. Again, this is not Skylar Thompson. It's a little bit different with Huntley. I trust him a little bit more. I think they're going to get Tyreek Hill involved however they can, whether it be short passes, screen passes, slants, try to keep things simple and just get him the ball in his hands to make plays. Obviously Huntley is just starting to learn the playbook. So he's a little bit limited overall, and they are going to rely on the run if they can get that going. But at the end of the day, you have Tyreek Hill. You got to put the ball in his hands however possible. And I think a lot of that's going to be through the short passing game. So I'll take the plus money at 4.5 receptions.
I dig it, man. He's got to, if I like the pass attempts, he's got to throw to someone, right? Yeah. And Tyreek, one thing about Tyreek Hill is he'll go up against L'Jarius Sneed on defense. And historically, there's been some beef there. They think they even got into a shoving match last year. Yeah. So Sneed historically has had Hill's number. But if you just look at this year, I think Sneed is ranked 92nd out of 94 cornerbacks by PFF, which tells you his play has declined, and it's a good chance for Tyreek Hill to get the upper hand in that little rivalry there. So I like that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it should be a fun game, but let's just move on. I don't think I think the next game is going to be a lot more exciting overall. So,
Yeah,
why don't you
I'm
tell us
with you. I mean, something about watching Detroit Lions play at home just fires me up. A lot of good energy there. Love Dan Campbell. So let's break that one down. Looking back to 2022, the Detroit Lions are 14-6 against the spread. So covering at a 70% clip when they're at home. They've got that electric environment at Ford Field. And usually those games are flying over, but interestingly, the under is on fire right now for the Lions games. That could change tonight. There's reason to believe because the Seahawks D line, which has been thriving through 3 weeks, they're really banged up with multiple starters out, giving the Lions a great chance to capitalize through their really strong rushing offense. And then on the flip side of that, Nick, Kenneth Walker returns. My fantasy team is very happy about that because I did not have Zach Charbonnet as my backup. So I get Kenneth Walker back tonight. We'll see if that can supercharge the Seahawks offense in a game where they might need to score more than usual given their defensive injuries. So a lot of stuff here. Your thoughts on this, so Nick?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the game itself, you got two solid defense overall, two teams that are going to want to run the ball and then play off that. I'm excited to watch it overall. I don't have any official play for us on this game, but I know you do have one. So why don't you guys go on?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm a weirdo. I like these weird props, right, dude? I don't mind a good sweat. So I'll just share my screen on this one and we'll break it down. I'm going to the crowds line again, and this is updating in real time all the forecasts. And out of all the plays available tonight, what they're keying in on is the number one ranked play, Jared Goff, over 0.5 rushing yards. So, I mean, if you look back at the stats, I'm not going to call him Michael Vick yet because this dude is, he doesn't run often. But interestingly, this year he's actually had a scramble attempt in every single game. He's cleared this number every single time. And the crowd's line is predicting a 64% chance that's going to happen again. So I'm rolling with Goff. This was minus 105. It's drifting up a little bit. Market's catching on minus 110 now. And actually, when I made this graphic, it was minus 105. So I'll track it at minus 110, which is where the price is right now. And I'm putting a unit on this. So let's give you that scramble early, baby. And hopefully it's sweat free. And obviously the risk with these, Nick, I will say, is kneel downs.
Yeah.
They could kneel it down. Everything could be going great. And then they kneel down and screw you. So that's the risk, but I'm hoping for one scramble.
Yeah, those kneel downs can be absolutely heartbreaking. But hopefully he gets 10 yards and you don't have to think about that at all. Guys, thank you again for joining us. We're going to try to do this more often. Like I said, primetime games is we're really trying to take advantage of and do the breakdowns for you guys. Check out the crowds line. It is free. We will have a link below, and we'll see you again on Monday.